have you ever thought about the mark you'll leave on the world? I mean, not just in stories or memories, but something real, something that lives and breathes and grows long after you're gone. Well, let's dive into a beautiful idea that does exactly that, turning a simple action into a living legacy.
This whole idea really sparked for me from a homestay in Sri Lanka. Get this. They invite their guests to leave behind something more than just footprints. They leave behind a living memento. It's a connection to the land that actually helps shape its future. Talk about a meaningful way to give back, right?
So let's really dig into this idea of a living memento and how tourism and reforestation can actually grow together. It's a wonderfully simple campaign, really. At this one Airbnb-style retreat, guests who stay for a bit get the chance to plant a sapling. Just imagine that for a second. It becomes your personal contribution to the local ecology, and you get this amazing story you can tell for years and years as that tree reaches for the sky. But as we're about to find out, a great intention, well, that's only the first step.
Because, every great idea comes with its own set of challenges. And when it comes to planting trees, especially in our cities and towns, we have to look underground. It's time to get to yep, you guessed it, the literal root of the problem.
And that's the big question, isn't it? We plant a tree with the absolute best intentions, we're hoping for shade and beauty, but without the right knowledge, could we be accidentally planting a huge headache for the next generation?
Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen that gorgeous old tree on the sidewalk that's completely shattered the pavement all around it. In places like Sri Lanka, trees like the mighty banyan are famous for this kind of raw power, and it makes people, understandably, pretty nervous about planting big trees anywhere near their homes. So here's where it gets really interesting. It all comes down to the difference between naive planting and smart planting. One way leads to a future problem, the other leads to a permanent solution. I mean, just think about those ancient European cities, right? Where you see these massive, centuries-old trees growing right in the middle of plazas, and there's not a single crack in the pavement. They know a secret. And honestly, it's surprisingly simple. So part one of that secret is all about choosing the right kind of trees. This isn't just about sticking something green in the ground. It's about creating, well, you could call it a buffet for the planet. It's called the mixed bag strategy. And instead of just planting one kind of tree over and over, you plant a variety that actually supports each other. See, you're not just planting an object, you're sparking a tiny, self-sustaining ecosystem that helps out everything and everyone around it. So what's on the menu at this planetary buffet? Well, for us humans, there are delicious fruits like mangoes and jackfruit. Awesome! But those same trees create flight paths for birds. Then you mix in native species like the Kumbuk or Na trees, and boom! Suddenly you've got nectar for bees and butterflies and critical habitats for local wildlife. It's a total win-win-win situation. Okay, so we've picked the perfect tree. But what about those monster roots? This brings us to the second and maybe the most brilliant part of the solution, the deep soil secret. Now this is the part that blew my mind. It turns out we've been thinking about tree roots completely wrong. They don't grow to the surface because they're trying to destroy your sidewalk. They grow to the surface because they're suffocating. That's right. In dense, packed down urban soil, there's no oxygen deep down, so they push upwards just to get a breath of air. So the secret isn't to fight them, it's to give them a reason to grow down. And this is how it's done. It is such a clever low-tech solution. When you plant the sapling, you just place a simple perforated tube in the hole right next to it. This tube basically acts like a snorkel for the roots, letting air and water get deep into the ground. So the roots, which are naturally looking for that oxygen and moisture, are encouraged to grow deep, deep down into the earth, far away from any pavement or foundations. It's simple, but it's absolutely revolutionary. So when you put these two ideas together, the right tree and the right way to plant it, you're not just putting a plant in the ground anymore. You are truly planting a lasting legacy. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? That's the entire philosophy in one sentence. It's not about being afraid of trees. It's about being smart and intentional with our green spaces. By creating that buffet for the planet and using that deep soil secret,
We make sure the trees we plant today will give us food, shade, and just stunning beauty for centuries, all while living in perfect harmony with our world. We're creating a gift for the future, a legacy of green that actually lasts.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Every one of us has the ability to make a small, positive change. And with just a little bit of knowledge, that small change can grow into something truly magnificent and permanent. So the only question left is, what legacy will you choose to plant?